This week on It's Happening Out. Facebook goes down and gives Pornhub a ride.
Welcome to Facebook, the world's largest community. Read your person.
New Zealand massacre echoes memories of Pulse.
We begin with more on the story of the victims, those who died, those who fought back.
Our road to Stonewall leads to RuPaul. Diversity Honors 5th Anniversary Gala. It's all happening out tonight. Join us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Guest host, Houston Cypress. Guest host, Robert Boo. And your host, fashion designer Carlos Marrero. Trans activist Aaron Phoenix. Reality star Chef Josie. DJ Diva of Power Infinity. Log Cabin Republican Joe Brookman. And our host, Al Ferguson. It all starts right now, live on It's Happening
Out. Well, good evening, America. We have a very exciting show of It's Happening Out tonight. We're coming from Wilton Manors and Pint on Wilton Drive. We love our friends here at Pint in Wilton Manors, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We affectionately say here in South Florida we're the gayest place on planet Earth. And you are going to find out how damn gay we are tonight on this show. I assure you. We move gayness to a whole new level this evening at It's Happening Out. We welcome you to our show. We have lots of interesting things that we're going to talk about. We thank you again for tuning in to It's Happening Out. First off, we want to remind you to like us on your Facebook page. Do that right now for us. Help share us with your friends. And we ask you also to log us in onto your social media and share us on your social media. It'll be a great thing to do for sharing. We want to remind you that It's Happening Out is a live show. We are the most popular live gay talk show in America. And you're going to find out in a few minutes how live we are, because I'm sitting next to Aaron Phoenix. And we're going to hear, God only knows what we're getting ready to hear from Aaron Phoenix. And you will also notice we have some new faces this evening. First off, to our friend, our regular host, Carlos Marrero, and also Joe Brookman. They're on assignment tonight. Carlos is doing something fashion-wise. Joe is doing something secretive in Washington, D.C.
One of those
probably, right? There's probably some kind of sacrificing going on, and daggers.
Goats.
We don't know what that might be.
Babies. Democratic babies.
It's the summer solstice. Spring solstice. Equinox. Thank you very much. And so I have to first introduce you to Houston Cypress. And Houston is a guest with us tonight. Houston is a Native American here in South Florida with the Miccosukee Indian tribe. And I think you're gay, aren't you?
I hope so.
Yeah,
yes. Super gay, super queer. Hello.
I do. We're going to flirt all the way through this show tonight. All right.
I tried
Houston,
to warn Houston against that.
Yes, exactly. He was a guest in the fall, and we asked him back to be on the panel, so we're really happy about it. And we're also very excited. We have Robert Boo here with us this evening. Robert is with the Diversity Honors, the big national event that is coming here to South Florida next weekend. And you're also the executive director of one of the biggest Pride Centers in the United States, Pride Center at Equality Park. And congratulations.
Thank you.
For
thank
that.
you.
And
Thank
welcome.
you. Glad to be here.
And we have a very special guest tonight as host of It's Happening Out. This is a first. A first. I told you about a month ago, we added our first woman ever, our first lesbian ever, Chef Josie, to the show. That's not working out so well for It's Happening Out, but we're trying. We're getting a little better. We're working on it.
Apparently, I'm just one of the boys.
She's only been on 4 or 5 television shows, but we're trying to coach her to get a little better. Well, because of all of the activity this week and all of the traveling of guest hosts, we decided, who could we invite as a special guest host? And Aaron and I had conversation today at our 1 o'clock host meeting, and we thought, who would be the most obnoxious person we could add as a guest host to It's Happening Out?
Hello.
And then,
You're going to blame it on me, of course.
Chef Josie's wife. Marcy, congratulations.
Not to interrupt, but I'm going to interrupt. I was having a coconut pineapple margarita at Bahama Breeze.
Wait, this was the afternoon, dude.
I know. So I was having a coconut pineapple margarita at Bahama Breeze, and I get a text saying, "Oh, by the way, you're the co-host tonight." And I was like,
what?
Day off.
Scooby-Doo moment? Right? Exactly.
Is that why she
Or
has
game
the
on.
tiara?
I don't know however you want to look at it.
Well, she's wearing... Oh, no, we're going to wait. She'll work the crown in sometime through this show.
At some point.
However, America, let me clue you in on something. Aaron and I, as regular hosts that are not married to one of these people,
Or
are
one
going
another,
to
for that
we're very dedicated this evening to make this as interesting for you as possible, America. So we've put Josie and Marcy at opposite end of the table, just like Power and Joe Brookman.
But
And
prettier.
so therefore, we're going to have the first time ever It's Happening Out, we're going to have the battling married partners battling it out on It's Happening
Now we
Out.
get to finally do it in front of a live audience.
Yes, exactly.
People always say we need our own show,
Save that
babe.
for
Wait,
Con,
by the way, that's not necessarily true because I hear rumors are here in South Florida that they have battled it out with live audiences in different...
War of the Roses.
That's
If you're lucky.
I was,
So are we placing bets?
Buy a ticket.
I was going to make a bedroom joke, but no, that would be inappropriate. Wait, let's go back to that
Entirely.
later. Exactly. All right, so
This is not
welcome
for
to our...
straight minds. It's not
right,
gonna work.
exactly. Welcome to our host. This is going to be a very interesting show. Aaron and I are a little scared. We've been holding each other for
What
like
is all
the
this
last...
Aaron and I?
Wait,
mean-
you're not scared? Wait, Al's scared. All right, you'll see it on my face. All right. So remember that this is a live show. Anything can happen. We just remind you. All right. As we begin our show, we like to begin with our memes. So we have not one, but 3 memes tonight. There was so much stuff in the news we thought was interesting. Meme number 1 is called "No Wall, No Facebook." Did you hear? Facebook went down last week. Oh, by the way, was our show on the air last week?
Did anybody watch
No one
it all?
knows.
No, exactly. That evil corporation of Facebook. Oop, they're probably going to take us down again.
You just clearly spent too much time with me today.
That's exactly right. They had an outage last week, and this is our meme of the week. If I don't get my wall, you don't get Facebook. And we thought that that was a cute meme. Second thing, we loved this. You've heard about the education scandal going on in America of buying your way into college admissions and that scandal. And this meme, DJ Aunt Becky is going to jail. And if you've watched the television show, was it the 70s or the 80s? Does anybody
No,
remember?
I think it was 80s, 90s.
Was it the 80s?
80s.
Yeah, I'm being yelled at from the bar that it was in the
No,
80s.
I think it was the 90s.
Was it the 90s?
early
I
90s?
mean, I was really young, so I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, unless it had something to do with RuPaul, I didn't watch it, so I don't know.
We were about the age of the Olsen
Yeah.
twins,
Yeah,
so-
exactly.
Exactly.
And
I watched
then-
reruns.
Yeah, you watched me. Yeah, y'all are
Rob
going
in
to
the
start on the
cradle.
age stuff. Excuse me, Robert Boo is sitting
Yes.
at this table.
I can hear
Be
you.
a little disrespectful. I'm just saying. The last meme of the week, and production thinks this one is really funny. I'm not sure that it is so funny. Basically, you broke everything. And this is a tribute to Guess Who? Yes, Friday a week ago. Thursday I had surgery. I have broken my arm.
We had to
It's
call the
very
ambulance.
sad. I'm under pain
That
and
red flag
suffering.
party, red hanky party.
You know, it's that party
Wait,
life,
what's-
man.
wait.
That party life,
Wait,
Al.
I don't, what is a red hanky party? Wait, no, right? Quiet. All right.
Another topic.
All right, so those are our memes of the week. Now we want to move to Capture This, and we congratulate Mark Koch. Mark had a great caption this meme this week. Oh my God, Stormy had my babies. And congratulations, Mark. we love that. And that is really dedicated to our friend Joe Brookman this week. Joe, I know you're watching the show. And you know what we love about this meme? You can't say a damn thing. We love that. We love that. All right. Congratulations, Mark, for the wonderful meme of Caption This. All right, we also start the top of our show with the best thing of the week. We like to get started with something really fun, and we have two things this week. First, have you heard about Ricky Martin?
Woo!
Ricky Martin did lip sync battle this week, and he did his impersonation of Risky Business. Watch this. Well, you can see here as Ricky is dancing
God,
in
yeah.
his underwear.
I would drink
We
his
are
bathwater.
loving the Risky Business,
mean-
and I have to tell you, I think he did it
Dale
better
Puerto
than
Rico,
Tom Cruise.
dale Puerto Rico.
And he's doing it 25 years after older than Tom Cruise did.
yeah, please.
And we love that.
I wish I
best
had a
thing
dollar
of the
bill
week.
That's
right
the
now.
gay gene in action right there.
That's exactly right. The gay gene was just demonstrated here. Now wait.
50, no problem.
And it's happening out. We're constantly trying to top ourselves.
Yeah.
So we introduced this segment of Best Thing of the Week, and we said, you know, Ricky Martin's not enough,
Oh.
even in his underwear. So we went to Peru, and we found a naked chef
My
model
future
called
ex-husband.
Franco Norrego. And he cooks and does this cooking show basically naked. And before you watch this, make sure you watch where his junk is. Watch this of Naked Chef. We
No
love
subtlety
this.
there.
Best thing of the
Bienvenidos una vez más a Franco Cooks Chia Pudding. Para toda esa gente que le encanta el dulce, esta receta es para ti. Puede ser strawberries, blueberries, una taza de chía. Básicamente vamos a hacer esta mezcla súper fácil y súper rápido. Vamos a meter 2 cucharadas de mantequilla de almendras, la leche de almendras, que vamos a hacer más o menos un poco de canela y un buen pedazo de coco. Esto le vamos a echar ese chia pudding. Las frutas que más me gustan, fresas. Riquísimo.
That's it. I'm losing the clothes, guys. I'm losing the clothes.
I'm so happy
like
to
him,
introduce
but-
America to
Whatever, I
my
got my own
boyfriend
thing going
Franco
on.
Noriego.
Oh,
Franco, I love you. Love you.
Franco.
I'll be in Lima soon. My one question to that video is Josie, all of the appearances you've had on Top Chef, did you used to do the exact same thing?
I have to say,
Only for me.
I see the trend where it's heading, and it might be time for Chef Josie to lose some clothing.
I'll allow
But
it.
I don't know if y'all are ready for all of this, okay?
Wait, I've been here, my friend Manila Luzon. No.
Manila girl, come on, you know what's up.
Anyway, those were our two best things of the week. It's a great way to start. We hope you watch It's Happening Out. We'll do this every week now and show you some of the fun things that we watched this week. It's fun working at It's Happening Out because we sit in production and they find loads and loads of these kind of videos, and we just get to sit all day long and watch
It's
them.
a tough job.
Loads-
Tough job.
The voting process
Right.
is very, very intense.
All right, so after Best Thing of the Week, it gets us into the headlines. Wah, wah. All right, we got to get to some headlines, tell you about some things going on. First off, there was the veto. We're showing you a slide right now. President Trump's first veto of his presidency takes place this week as he vetoes I believe 14 Republican senators and 100% of the Democrats in the Senate basically said no to the emergency order, and Trump vetoes the override from the Senate. Can't be overcome because they don't have enough Republican voters. We come back to the wall one more time. Gosh, it's in front of us a lot. What do y'all think about the veto and the wall?
I mean, does he not
Can-
realize
can-
that 2 negatives don't make a positive?
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Can someone please veto this presidency? I mean, that's really where we're at. I mean, it's enough is enough already.
Yeah. Other thoughts? What you think about?
Unfortunately, we're in a bit of an echo chamber without our log cabin Republican.
We're
apparently.
missing Joe tonight. We are missing Joe tonight. What do you? Well, one of the things that I have to advocate for my friend Joe Brookman is you have to admire Donald Trump for being so myopically dedicated to his position.
That's one way to put it.
Well, I mean, seriously,
Right.
he wants the wall. He believes the wall's important, whether it's important for national security or his election in 2020. He's dedicated to it. And at the end of the day, why isn't he being successful for doing exactly what he's
Because he's
doing?
getting lost in his message. He's like throwing tantrums and trying to get what he wants, you know? And
The conviction of a toddler
unfortunately,
holding their breath.
by like vetoing bills and stuff like that, that's not how you enroll people into your idea of this wall.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. He's dedicated, I hear.
Oh,
By the way, everybody, in case you didn't hear that at home, that's a little bell, and it's called the Save Al bell. That's what we call it. It's happening out, and it's because
Starting right now.
I constantly ask these hosts, why are you still talking? And this will happen all through the show. We allocate a certain amount of time on the topics that we're talking about, and then we give a chip. Well, tonight we're doing something a little different because one of the big charity events in Florida is going on, coming up, the 2019 Florida AIDS Walk and the Music Festival. We congratulate them.
Yay.
A tremendous event, and my friend Bianca Del Rio, ever heard of her? From RuPaul's Drag Race. She's the MC for the event.
Where's the name drop bell?
Yeah.
Do we have that one?
Yeah, we need one of those.
Production.
Oh,
No?
and did I mention the Pride Center's a beneficiary?
Oh, really?
here we
Right,
go.
raising money.
Boom, got that
Wait,
one in.
somebody just told me to shut up in production. That's why they heard that bell. So each host has this chip, and we can continue when we hear that another minute. Each one of our hosts can continue to talk by buying me a drink, by throwing in the Florida
My
AIDS
wife
Walk.
has actually used it for what it's
Right, it's a coaster. But if you want more time, you can. Other things, moving on in the news. The Facebook crisis. Dun, dun, dun. All right,
Times.
big this week. We're going to tell you and show you a couple of slides about what happened. Facebook went down. Oh my God, you would have thought the world was coming to an end. In fact, we can prove it right now. There's this cute little video circulating around about me without Facebook. And a lot of people have watched this about what happened when Facebook and Instagram went down. Watch this.
Like the day the
Truer
earth stood still.
words were never spoken in terms of our ability of what would happen. You see the slide we're showing you right now, a world without Facebook. A little tear goes down my cheek of all of you that complained and whined and said all kinds of things about what you couldn't do. What happened when Facebook went down? Well, we're showing you a slide of one of the most obvious things that happened, which we thought was hilarious. Pornhub skyrockets 20%. What happens is, when Facebook went down, everybody turned to Pornhub. Now,
Everybody
I don't
needed to touch
understand the
themselves.
connection, but Pornhub themselves promoted the fact that while Facebook was down, they rose 20%. And it's interesting.
What rose?
Yes, something rose 20% in its frequency. We're showing you another strange fact about search words on Pornhub. The search word Facebook increased by 221% while the Facebook collapse was going on. In other words, people went to Pornhub to search for Facebook, assuming that Pornhub could find Facebook. That's what happened during this crisis. We were so desperate for Facebook.
That doesn't even make sense.
That's the joke. Exactly. It didn't make sense. We also thought it was funny during Facebook, as we show you slides, there were multiple things. There was an article about tentacle porn. And to be honest with you, at this moment, tentacle porn was widely searched on Pornhub, and the author of one of the articles I read highly recommended, Al, don't look up what tentacle porn is, and I have not, because I was afraid, because they told me, you're going to be scared on what you find, so I haven't done that. Maybe that'll come up. And we give you another example of what we did in wasting our time while Facebook went down. A group of guys got together and did a series of 40 pictures from their cell phone while Facebook was down to post find the dildo in their pictures. And all they did was spend all evening hiding dildos in pictures all evening long. Literally,
What a
Facebook
luxury.
went down, and all over the world collapsed. What did y'all think about the Facebook collapse last week? Somebody tell me what you thought.
Well, I'll speak into that. So Josie and I were talking about this today, if I'm baby X or if I'm like an elder millennial. However, being said, I'm an elder millennial. So that means
Note
I am.
to self, come back to that.
So that means I am very involved with social media and stuff like that. If I wasn't here on Wednesday night, it probably would have affected me a little bit more. But I realized how many times I was going to reach for my phone, and I don't know whether to go live or whether it was to, and I also realized the AOL Instant Messenger, I end up using that more than I use.
Did you say
AOL?
AOL?
Okay, see, that's where the baby X comes in. Listen, I said I was
Newsflash, America.
elder millennial.
Wait, let me get my typewriter. Newsflash, America.
That was the elder part of elder millennial, right?
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, we
Facebook
do.
Messenger. Okay. All right.
That's why I married her. She's like a crossover.
I'm a
you know
cross
what I
breed. I'm
mean?
a hybrid. So anyways, so my instant messenger, however you want to call it, Facebook Messenger, I realized I use that more than I've been using text messaging these days. So I was I don't even have these people's numbers. I'm like, I don't even know their last name if I can't look them up. So, for me, it affected me, I think,
Life was sad for
Yeah,
you.
it was a little
We
sad.
got it.
A little sad.
Older millennial.
Older millennial.
Got it.
It's a thing.
Other thoughts? The Facebook crash. What did y'all think?
I didn't even know. Talk about living underneath a bridge. When did this
Robert,
happen?
You're,
I was working.
You're feeding into
I'm working.
a
I'm working. I have
stereotype.
to work all the entire time. I give to my community.
Well, we do all.
I think that people automatically reverted to their wants and needs. Self-care.
Exactly.
Wait, moving to porn.
Balance it out.
Wait.
I am loving that.
Did the native Floridian, the real true native Floridian,
This is the truth here. Yes. Yes.
did you just suggest that turning to Pornhub is self-care?
Along with everyone else.
They needed it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna work on your mic because we want to hear more about self-care.
Native self-care.
Okay. Well, America, we tell you, Facebook's collapse, and frankly, there was a lot written about it. Nobody has ever seen anything like it.
It was a good week to be tentacle porn, apparently.
What? Well, all right. Let's take
But
one.
Facebook is the tentacle.
Yes.
Like it's
Oh.
everywhere. It is everywhere.
Deep.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
obscure.
I'm taking a minute of overtime, of my own overtime authority.
Who gave you that
I
authority?
know. I'm like, do you have a chip, sir?
The gay
I'd like to
people
file a
on
complaint.
the
gay mafia.
Do that?
Yeah, the gay mafia. Is there anything we should discuss about tentacle porn? You're our expert on this subject,
I'm the
I believe.
expert. Well,
How do you know I'm not the expert?
We don't know for sure.
I'm
We
not.
just think it's the thing.
All right.
Can
so
we
is
Google
there
You know,
anything I should
tentacles,
know?
it's very simple. Tentacle porn is for when you are so fed up with men that you finally have to turn to aliens and mutant sea
That's
creatures.
it.
I mean,
And,
I know
aliens?
you do understand.
Really? Is
And-
that all it is?
Makes sense.
Basically.
Oh.
so the
Now, I thought
point
it was
of
something really
Pornhub
horrible.
and like RedTube and whatever that you're supposed to look up the most obscure things that you wouldn't fathom even doing in real life. That's the fantasy. That's the taboo part of porn.
But that's the interesting thing about this crisis in the last week. Their number one search on Pornhub, as they should be searching for their fantasy, was Facebook. Why
That's
search
their
for
fantasy in the
Facebook?
moment.
That's what was so interesting in the last week.
The question
All right.
answers
Big
itself.
news, of course. Other big news of the week is about the Democrats and the LGBT caucus. This last week, history was made. History. Imagine 10 years ago, imagine 20 years ago. For the first time ever in the Congress, the majority of the Democrats joined the LGBT caucus. Never happened before.
Applaud.
Thank you.
129 members of the Democratic Party in the House joined the caucus. 18 vice chairmen joined the caucus. And shamingly, honestly, I really do wish my friend Joe was here to comment on it. Not one single Republican joined the LGBT.
Zero. The big fat egg.
Zero.
Shame.
And
Yeah.
2 of our congresspeople from Florida are vice chairs.
Of the caucus?
Ted Deutsch and
Awesome.
Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Also in news related to this, Nancy Pelosi announced that the Democrats in the House were going to pursue adding gay and transsexual protection to the 1964 Civil Rights Act, which is an amazing accomplishment.
About time.
And
need
a
it.
news.
I'm ready
What do you
for
think
that.
about the news of what Congress wants to do on gay rights and the LGBT caucus? What do y'all think?
I mean, I think it's great that finally so many Democrats will now know what the T stands for in LGBT. It took, it only took, what, how many years since 1964? But, it's
what
a start.
does the T stand for? Somebody.
Tentacles.
Back to your places. Back to your places. What do y'all think about the news in Congress and what they're doing?
I mean, the Republican thing, it doesn't shock me. I don't think it shocks anybody, but it's disappointing.
It's not, well, that's what I was going to say. Even you don't expect the Republicans to be overwhelmingly supportive for LGBT rights yet. They will be one day.
But not one,
They
though?
will.
Yeah.
But this,
We're
is
at
not,
a
this, is not
space
really,
in
this
this-
is not really an opportunity to be celebrating or to be happy about it, because the Republicans have set us back so much that you're just starting to gain that traction back.
Yeah.
So it's not really an opportunity for celebration.
Yeah.
You've been set back so far. We got all this land and space and time to reclaim.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna throw in my chip on this one.
All right, you're buying me a drink. Hand me your chip.
All right, here's
right.
your chip.
So
Okay.
Josie has cashed in her chip and she's buying me a drink.
I'm ready.
Go ahead.
So the reason why this subject right now and this moment in our history is so important to me, and I hear what you're saying, is during the Civil War, we discussed this earlier, it was a moment of freeing our black community, right? No one talked about equality then. It was just about ending slavery. When we met the civil rights movement, then we started talking about rights. We're in 2019, and we're talking about adding gays and transgendered communities to the conversation. You guys got to be kidding me right now. So the truth of the matter is, I don't care what we're talking about. It's about goddamn time.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
Well, big news, of course. We know that even with the caucus and Nancy Pelosi's push for the extension, it's not going to happen. It's going to require more bipartisan, but it's a step in the right direction, and every step we make is progress. Other news, let's move on. Big news at Tumblr. Have you heard? We did a report, remember, months ago when Tumblr announced... I miss Tumblr. Do you? I know what you miss about Tumblr. We did a report about...
on Pornhub.
Yes, exactly right. Tumblr eliminated all their adult content, especially their gay adult content, on Tumblr. And now we have several months, almost 3 months of data to report on what happened from their decision. And we're showing you a slide here. Look what happened. Their monthly page view has dropped by 150 million views.
They went down like their Viagra wore off.
So that's what's happened without their gay porn. What do y'all think about what's happening at Tumblr?
Well, why are we surprised? I mean, Tumblr was a perfect harmony of basically Facebook and Pornhub.
Thank you.
You know, we need our drama, we need our dicks, we need that symbiosis, that balance. And without one, you're destined to fail, destined to flop.
You know I love sitting next to you. I really do. What else?
Isn't there like some saying that it's like sex, drugs, and rock and roll? Isn't that what sells in this world? So Tumblr, I feel for you. I mean, I have a Tumblr account. I haven't used it. I don't really know what to do with it.
For at least 3 months, right?
Yeah. I just released, I mean, well, you know, my inner thought, whatever.
Okay. Have you met your wife, Marcy? This is,
I just happen to think that this
Couple
just
times. We
shows
met a
like
couple
how
times.
much queer and gay and LGBTQ culture props up so much of the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Like without us, like everything
Thank you.
collapses.
yeah.
But there's
on.
still porn on Tumblr, according to a friend of mine.
Is there porn? Wait, I'm curious. Have you seen
Yes.
Is there?
Yeah.
It just gets deleted real quick.
No.
Okay. All right. I didn't know
According
that.
to a friend.
All right.
Well, tell your friend to give us a call.
Menus. It's like the secret menus.
We're watching Tumblr. I didn't know that. So we're watching what's happening at Tumblr. They maybe with this news, because it's the first study that reports Tumblr's statistics and views, maybe they'll revisit what they're doing at Tumblr. The last thing that we did in the news is something a little more lighthearted. Something happened this week which was interesting. Country music has not been the most embracing LGBT music platform of all of the platforms that are represented. And a country music star this week, Cameron Hawthorne, released a music video called Dancing in the Living Room. And it wasn't that the song or the music video was necessarily so fantastic. It was what he was saying in the country music video. And we got a little snippet of it. Watch what happened in his launch without telling anyone this week what he was doing in the music video. Watch this.
Oh, that is sweet.
Love that.
Well, I have to tell you, first and foremost, Cameron Hawthorne, our hearts go out to you. When we watched this video at our host meeting today, I'm outing both of you. They both got emotional. I had already seen it. I got emotional when I watched it.
Softies.
It's a beautiful step. And for you not to say one word in the announcement and launch of your video, but just putting it out there and us getting to see what you did at the end.
Right.
You did the entire Cameron Hawthorne, you did the entire gay community proud. Congratulations.
Talk about a creative coming out.
Yeah. What do y'all think about seeing a country music video like this?
So, speaking for myself, who is a country music singer, I even tried out for The Voice. I would, this year, actually. I'm happy that more people are coming out as gay in the country music industry. I mean, besides our friend Ty Herndon. Yeah, hey Ty.
Hi, Ty.
It's awesome to see another,
Name
gay
dropping.
male.
Where's that Where's that bell?
We know people. But anyways, yeah, I was excited to see the video. First of all, I heard the song and I loved it. Josie and I even danced in the living room
She
to
said
that
that
song.
today at
We
the host
did.
meeting.
We're so gay.
Marcy and I would dance in our living room.
And to see the video,
And then I threw up a little in my mouth.
That's so lesbian of them.
Yeah.
So to see the video, you know, I'm not familiar with him, but now I will be, I feel like. But watching the video, it was very tastefully done. Like, he started off with a straight couple, then he went into lesbians, which is
Lesbian couple.
more
Right.
accepting, and then went to an older straight couple, and then in the end, he finished off with a gay couple. So, you know, I mean, I actually want to throw on my chip on this one because I'm not done speaking.
Sure. I agree.
But yeah,
Marcy goes all
I'm
in.
going all in on this
All
one.
right, all right.
So, anyways, it was made me happy and proud to be gay in that moment and a country music lover, because I think as long as you have, you know, as long as you're a star or famous or you have a platform, you should use it to be authentically you and inspire other people and do it while people are still listening. And I think bravo to him if he did it without even, you know, announcing it. That's awesome. So,
You know, one of the things, and I agree with you, and one of the things that I want to draw attention to America of what Marcy said that I absolutely love, and you said it organically. We watch a video like this and we swell with pride. We talk about gay pride all of the time. We just watched and you just heard gay pride. I love that. Congratulations.
Yes.
And again, Cameron Hawthorne, congratulations to you. All right. We are getting ready to do one of my favorite segments at It's Happening Out, and it is called I'd Swallow That.
Thank
and
God.
our friend...
I'm so excited.
Yes.
I'm a little nervous.
That's what I said before the last time I swallowed too.
I heard a little boo. I heard a little. I was going to say a little boo.
a little boo.
I heard a little bird today on Wilton Drive here on the gayest place on planet Earth that Robert Boo talked all day about. What is this I'd swallow that about? Robert, you're getting ready to find out.
I'm a
All right.
virgin.
So, our sponsor
We'll be
of,
gentle.
Thank you.
Ish.
I'd Swallow That is a wonderful product. I love it. It's called Original Gel Shots. Before we begin our game, let's watch this. All
Best part
right,
of the
as we
show.
told you, this is a fun game called I'd Swallow That. Now, this is a really cool game. We hope you're playing with us at home. If you're in a bar watching this, we hope you're playing with us and use original gel shots. They're great because they come all packaged. You don't have to worry about that mixing it up and all of that kind of stuff. Fantastic product that comes in 6 flavors. Here's how our game works. I'm going to ask 6 questions. These hosts do not know any of the questions I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask Houston and Aaron to stop reading my paper, and so nobody will know any of the questions I
Put 'em
ask.
over here.
If, all right.
Al thinks
that's
he's
because,
really that
that's because
interesting.
Josie can't read. No. If they agree, they're going to take the shot. If they don't touch the shot, and that's how we play I'd Swallow That. Everybody understand our rules?
Okay.
Yes.
All right, let's play. It's a lot of fun. Question number 1. I'd swallow that. I have ended a call with a coworker by saying, I love you.
Oh, I've done that.
Oh, wait, I'm going to need, and
What does that
I
even
have to
mean?
say that Houston does not drink, and he's doing
The red.
colorful shots.
gotta do the red
But
one
somebody is going to help me, too. As
are
we
they?
go. Oh,
Here,
thank
there you
very
go.
much. All right, all right.
Oh,
You've
I guess
ended
you can
it
get yours.
by saying, I love
Okay.
you.
I have.
Oh my God.
It's such a good shot.
And they're tasty, too.
Who said somebody?
Ooh, you like that
tell me-
cinnamon stuff.
Somebody tell me a quick story about I loved you to an employee,
Well,
a coworker.
I spoke to Power Infinity earlier today, and when we hung up, I made sure to tell him
Oh
that.
yeah, I
Actually-
do
Love you,
that
Power.
all the time.
Actually, let's talk about that. I was going to do it at the end of the show, but you opened the door. Power is not here tonight, and if you read our social media, you know. And thank you for bringing this up instead of waiting till the end of the show. Power has had a tragic event in his life. His brother has lost his life, and Power yesterday flew to Houston to to help with arrangements and to help with his mother. When Power returns, he will tell you all of the details of what is going on, but it is one of the most dramatic moments that can go on in a person's life. And we want to say, on behalf of the host sitting here, y'all are all doing a great job in helping to cover for Power. He was scheduled to be here
It took
tonight.
3 people just to cover for you, Power.
Yeah, 3 people to cover, and they're barely holding on to your seat. But on behalf of production and the host and everybody at It's Happening Out, and really people, especially in Tampa Bay, where you're home and you're loved so much at Tampa Pride and all over America, Power, we want you to know that we're thinking of you tonight, and we love you very much, and you've contributed so much to your gay community. We're very proud of you, and we're standing with you in this incredible moment in your life, and we're thinking about you very, very much, Power. We want to make sure you know that. And then second, we also want to do a shout out to a great friend of our show, the host of Hotspots Live, an entertainment show here in South Florida, Sean Palacios. We joke with Sean and Power being the same person all of the time, and who would have thought, in consequence, that he would have a dramatic loss this week. And Sean, we're thinking of you too, and we want you to come back to It's Happening Out the first opportunity you feel up to it. We love what you do for the gay community. We love what you do for Pride Fort Lauderdale. We love what you do for Wilton Manors and all of us, and what you do at Hotspots Live. You do a professional and entertaining and fun job, and we thank you very much. And all of us at It's Happening Out are thinking about you tonight also. So thank you for giving me that opportunity. And we can clap for that. We can clap.
We can clap for that.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
I can't clap for that, but we all can. All right, question number 2. I'd swallow that. Let's go to question number 2. Whew, here we go. I can't wait to watch Robert Boo's answer to this one. This will probably be your executive director interview question in years to come. I have had sex or masturbated in the workplace environment.
Oh.
No.
That reach and come back was universal code for I'm about to
called
lie.
Whoops.
That's called lies.
Y'all have a restaurant. You have a restaurant.
We wash our hands.
Oh my God, America!
That didn't even dawn on me right away.
I know. I had oysters the other night in your restaurant.
Oh my God!
Friday night, I had oysters.
We like it raw. What can I say?
And they were delicious. By the way, if you're ever in South Florida and you've got to come to Wilton Drive, right here, our home at Pint, Wilton Manors, the gayest place on planet Earth. But if you want a fantastic dining experience, Bubbles and Pearls on Wilton Drive at Fantastic
I'm the bubble.
Restaurant.
She's the pearl.
Just make sure the hands have
Hashtag
been washed.
stay agitated.
Right. Question number 3. I'd swallow that. Now listen carefully. This is not as obvious as you think. Listen carefully. I'd swallow that. I like my coffee like I like my men.
I'm waiting for the answer.
That's it.
I know better. I know better.
That's it. There's nothing
All
more.
right, sure.
All right, so you call me out on my damn questions. Aaron's on me all the time. Is the question obvious in terms of the cream or no cream?
Oh, no, of course not.
No cream.
No, I like my coffee bitter and unable to love me back.
If Aaron
Love
Phoenix
you,
is,
Tomcat.
if Aaron Phoenix is not one thing, he's consistent. All right. Question number 4.
Times
For true that.
Yes. Question number 4. I'd swallow that. Robert, I'm not going to look at you. Question number 4.
Down here.
I have had sex as an adult in my childhood bedroom while visiting my relatives.
Oh my God.
I know it. Yes. I'm the man, America.
I feel like a sexual deviant.
And the only one that is called out is Robert Boo.
I don't think I did. did.
The
Dude, my
only
family's
one.
very
Thank
religious.
God my
man.
mother's
There's
not
like
watching.
No
Wait,
even sneaking
exactly.
them
Wait.
in.
The lottery numbers this week are. Thank you,
so
Robert, for your
embarrassing.
honesty. We love that. Okay, I'd swallow that. Question number
Such
5.
an abomination, I swear.
I look clean
I'm
cut,
sorry,
though.
did you call Robert Boo an abomination?
Absolutely.
Yes, exactly. All right.
I own it.
All
right.
I own it.
That's what
Speaking
matters.
of family, let's see if Robert Boo goes for the trifecta.
Yes.
Question number 5. I'd swallow that. I have ditched family for a booty call.
Oh, hell yeah.
Sorry, fam.
Oh, my God. That's like not even a
Oh my God!
That's a part of the gay gene, guys.
No shame. No shame.
Don't think so.
Oh wait.
Gotta go.
I either have to find a new gig, or get new hosts. One or the other. Because I don't know who you people are. All right. All right. Question number 6. This is the last one of
Thank
I'd
God I'm
swallow
running
that.
out of Jello shots.
Now I'm going to be looking closely this time at Marcy.
Oh.
Question number 6. I'd swallow that. I have faked an orgasm because my partner sucked in bed.
Don't worry, it was before me, guys.
No, you said that.
me,
Marcy
just so
didn't
clear.
say that. Wait. Wait. No, I don't
I
believe
was too quickly swallowing.
Is that why you had to fake the orgasm?
Wait.
Exactly.
Wait. I'm not moving on until I hear at least a partial story. Try to say, did it apply to Josie?
No,
or
come on.
It didn't?
Why
Never?
why would I marry her if I had a fake orgasm? That would be.
Wait,
I mean, I like.
Wait, no.
What is it called? I'm a little bit masochistic, but not that much.
No.
That answers
You, how long have y'all been together?
Like 5, 4, 4 or 5.
Let's-
We don't know. Who's
Can y'all
counting?
pick a number? My
5. We'll
God.
go with 5.
All right.
helps us.
I know Facebook. I know if Facebook's not down, it'll pop up in my
Okay,
memories.
now wait.
Let's
I
find
would-
the U-Haul receipt.
Yeah. Oh.
That didn't happen with
There
us.
you go.
No. Clearly, Robert, you're not watching the show.
We already covered that
Right.
subject.
All right. So wait, I would not be doing my job as moderator if I didn't ask a follow-up question. The follow-up question is never, not even one time.
No, she's dedicated. You know?
Now this is the moment
Big
when.
dick energy, Josie.
No wait. This is the moment when Barbara Walters regrets that follow-up question. Right now. All right. So that's our game. I'd swallow that. Thank you very much, Robert. You have been great.
Thank
for
God.
us this evening.
The pressure.
All right, we
You
move
made
on. We move on to one of the topics that we want to talk about, and there's no way of getting around it. This is a tough subject. This week in Christchurch, New Zealand, originally announced 49 people were basically gunned down in a mass murder by a alt-right white nationalist terrorist that had and has publicly said he was very influenced by what is going on in the United States against a Muslim mosque. I was moved and commented about, and we are talking about it tonight, of the similarities we see to the number 49 for the gay community because of the Pulse tragedy. And everybody, of course, knows my affiliation with Pulse and Eddie Sotomayor. And the movement at Pulse was exactly the opposite. A Muslim that creates mass murder aimed to support his religion against principally Latin Christians that were in the club or related. So a lot happened this week. Gun violence in the news again. Other things that happened as we show you a slide. Honestly, a crazy senator in Australia blames the Muslims for the attack. And he writes really a highly offensive letter that has received recrimination from the entire world, around the world, to the point that a 15-year-old boy exercised civil disobedience speech. And we want to show you a little moment of that video of what this 15-year-old did to this Australian senator. Watch this.
The controversial senator sparked global anger after linking the New Zealand terror attacks to Muslim immigration, blaming the victims for the deadly violence.
That the boy basically pushes, not throws, an egg against the senator's head. And we're showing you different versions of it. One of our viewers wrote, and we thought particularly interesting, Joseph said, quote, "Thoughts and prayers are especially hollow when they come from politicians who actually have power to affect change, or at least attempt to. Passing the buck to God really makes your elected position seem meaningless." And we draw attention to your profound words that you share with It's Happening Now. The issues of New Zealand now to 50 reported dead, and Pulse, and gun violence. Gosh, I don't even know where to start, but where do you want to start? What do you think?
You know, in this, because we're talking specifically about New Zealand, I'm curious to know whether or not the gay community, with the similarities and the relationship, the symbiotic relationship really to Pulse, like, are we able to access the empathy and the compassion and the understanding for the mosque in New Zealand? And I can only speak for myself and know that hate crimes are hate crimes, regardless of who they affect. When hate is the driving force behind any attack, none of us should be a stand for that. And you know, these are just more bully mentality and bully tactics.
But you know what the amazing and impressive part of this is? The Prime Minister vows to have reform done in 10 days.
10 days.
10 days.
Yeah.
It was
and here we've been talking about
it
for how many years and nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy to see that that there are so many communities showing up for each other after this tragedy. I'm just reading about some of the indigenous communities that are showing up to the mosque to offer protection, like with their bodies.
From the Maori.
From the indigenous communities. The Maori.
The
Maori people.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Houston, I'm curious, and I don't really know what the answer is. In case you don't know, here in Florida, we have two very significant Native American tribes. The Seminole tribe of Florida. You know the Seminole tribe because they own the Hard Rock brand, and it's the largest Native American business in the entire world: hotels, casinos, restaurants, etc. And then Houston's tribe is the Miccosukee tribe, and they're kind of kissing cousins, is how I refer to them. I have never heard, but is there any gun violence? Or in your lifetime, is gun issues ever been an issue in the Native American community in Florida or generally around America? Have you ever heard of that?
No, I mean, like a lot of other communities, people of color, like we end up having to be like at the brunt of the violence. So I don't think we've had anything like that, like within our own community. So
is gun violence in the course of a year something that is an issue that either of the tribes in Florida even face? It's just, and I don't understand, because for me, the question of what's going on here is beyond the fact that it's happening. That's the fact. The question is, what do we do about it? Robert's observation is absolutely the bullseye. The Prime Minister says in 10 days we're going to ban.
Exactly. There's action. Okay, you can blah, 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 talk all you want. There's action. There are solutions. There are systemic solutions that you can activate as soon as possible. That is what our legislators have the power to do, period, end of story. Any excuse they put in place to avoid or delay making a choice, that's because you're a coward, okay? Point blank. It's very simple. I have some solution for you. How about you place an insurance on the big companies, the big gun companies who are producing big guns, and anyone who's killed with their weapon, and if these weapons are used in any type of mass shooting, that they are getting fined. As a business owner, if I serve you alcohol and you get in your car and you kill someone, I I can be sued for it. So how is it that gun companies, how is it that gun shops, no one else is responsible and no one wants to find out who has guns in their hands?
Crazy. Okay, yes.
I guess one of my other questions is this latest event, Las Vegas, Sandy Hook. I mean, how many of these do we have to talk about?
Well, and that right therein lies really the big issue is the fact that we can respond as human beings, seeing that other human beings have been killed. We can respond by going, "Oh God, again." You know, that's sad. That's terrifying. Whatever it is in the human psyche that makes us violent, that makes us terrible to each other, I mean, I find myself trying to justify it or trying to figure it out, find some kind of, what's the scientific reason behind hate? Because I can't fathom that it's just because people decide to be terrible people. And I don't know. I'm coming up blank, you know, and it's hard because
hate comes from people hating themselves.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and use my chip on this one.
All right. So Aaron's going in on.
You know, after Pulse happened, when we woke up and heard on the news that 49 people had been killed, I don't think we knew what the number yet. I mean, I spent the next 2 days, however long it was, by my phone waiting. I'm an entertainer. I've entertained at nightclubs all around Central Florida, and between the calls coming in of, "Are you okay? Was it you? Were you there?" and then waiting on the calls to find out the names of the people who were gone, which of my friends are dead, was the biggest question on my mind. And it was so surreal to see on social media people in states I used to live in and whatever debating this whole thing as a politics thing. It was the most surreal, most bizarre feeling to know that this was happening to my community and watch it, tossed around like just a talking point. So we've got to be able to have some empathy when we discuss these things. That being said, we've got to talk some common sense gun control. We've got to. I am pro Second Amendment. Contrary to popular assumption, I am pro Second Amendment. I am not anti-gun. I'm actually pro arming marginalized people specifically, but there is no reason why there should be weapons available for purchase that can kill more people in one shooting than there have been killed in the entire year in that country last year. There's no reason for it. There's no practical use for it.
You were telling me that at the host meeting today, and it brought an exclamation point to me that more people were killed in this Christchurch shooting
than the entire homicide rate. Yeah.
The entire year in the entire country in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it brings you to a dead stop. One thing that I'll share before we move on about guns. I was intricately involved in Pulse and so many interviews and so much in so many ways. I will never think about Christchurch or any other mass shooting ever again, because that Sunday morning I was in ORMC, where it was the crisis center, where all of the families and were assigned. And people were coming in. It's only about 4 or 5 blocks from Pulse. And I was assigned to a table, which was for Eddie Sotomayor. And I'm sitting with my best friend and his partner, Luis Rojas, and family members, some family members, and some friends. And the President Obama, suspended HIPAA. And he came in, and I thought I should really record this, not knowing why, but I should record it. And I started a recording on my iPhone of the president of ORMC announcing that the president had announced that he was suspending HIPAA, and so therefore the the director of ORMC could start to announce the status of names. And I was videotaping it. And I was watching it like I was watching television as I was videotaping it. And when this finished, I was hearing this gasp of, here's the person that's here and they're in critical condition, or they're in stable condition, or whatever, or they're in fair condition. And I'm taping this like it's news inside the crisis center. And as they finished, I realized that Eddie Sotomayor's name was not announced. And it was at that moment I realized that my friend had been killed. And I was doing this on my phone. I have that video today. I have never shown that video because I realized I have become so impervious to gun violence that I would go that far and not even realize, in a way, I'm participating in the insanity of these moments. It has to change. I'm ashamed of that video. I have never told that story until right now. We think about Christchurch because if for no other reason in the gay community in America, we think about Pulse. And we do think about Pulse this weekend. Let's move on from gun violence. All right? And I would like for you to tell me something I don't know. We always make the joke that I know everything. And it's really not a joke because it's pretty true, isn't it?
I mean, you're really going to ask me that? You're really
I'm
going to turn to me?
Yeah, right. All right.
Not good for your PR.
Right. So I want y'all to tell me something I didn't know. This week, somebody tell me something. If you have something, tell me it.
All right.
Can we get some tissues for me and Josie?
Yeah, sorry. You know, the softies over here are having a moment.
Okay, so what you didn't know is Dolly Parton once lost a Dolly Parton lookalike contest. I'll go more into that. Okay. So
don't tell me it was a drag queen.
Listen. So it was Halloween on Santa Monica Boulevard, and there was a bunch of drag queens dressed up like her. She over-exaggerated her look, and when she got on stage, she didn't even come close to winning. So.
And did people find out? Do you know?
I mean, eventually.
Yeah.
Marcy knows.
Yeah. I mean,
she was there.
And Marcy was the winner. Okay. All right. Anybody else want to tell me something I don't know before we move on?
Sure.
I got something for you. RuPaul's hit song, Supermodel, You Better Work. It launched Ru into pop culture over 20 years ago. And since then, Ru has received 11 studio albums, published 2 books, and been a spokesperson for MAC Cosmetics.
Well, I bet you didn't know that.
Won 4 Primetime Emmys for RuPaul's Drag Race. Did you know that?
Houston Cypress has just, with a straight face, asked Al, did you know about RuPaul? Thank you. That's good. Anybody else?
Sure. That was an amazing moment for some reason.
That's going to make our blooper reel, America. Okay.
So I'll tell you something you probably didn't know. The first LGBT rights organization in history was founded in Berlin in 1897.
Wow.
Yeah, 1800s. It was by a physician and sexologist, Magnus Hirschfeld. Their motto, it was called the Scientific Humanitarian Committee, and their motto was justice through science, which reflected his belief that better scientific understanding of gender and sexuality would decrease the social hostility against our community.
Okay, very cool. Anybody else want to add anything before we move on?
Well, in 1999, and I don't care how old you were, Ru received GLAAD's Vito Russo Award, which is presented to openly LGBT media professionals who have made a significant difference in promoting equality for the community. A trend he has continued for 20 years.
That's interesting to me.
Did you know that?
In this segment of Tell Me Something I Didn't Know, what my overriding question to these facts that I'm hearing is, who is RuPaul and what is this RuPaul you're talking about? Thank you. All right. That's telling me something I didn't know.
I have one more thing.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. So I'll tell you
if it's about RuPaul, I'm going to...
It should be.
Okay, I'll tell you something. So this is a little Chef Josie facts. Okay, history. It's going in the book, but I'll give you a preview. So this is something you don't know.
Josie is writing a book. She's been talking about this book for like
Awesome.
37 years, and it's coming.
You know what
It's called We Had Sex in the Kitchen at the Restaurant.
What's it called, baby?
You tell me.
Oh,
It's called
The War of the Roses.
Forget it. You have a moment. Okay. So, anyways, so when I was young and sexy, and
This is where you interrupt.
wearing Poochie and living on South Beach. Okay, I had an opportunity or a moment, and I met Bono. You know who Bono is, right?
This is the seventh time she's told us this story.
No big deal, you know.
Hold on, let's tell her again.
But all I can tell you is this: we were at an event. It was one of the in places on South Beach, and I went there for a friend's birthday party. And as I walked in, Bono grabbed me from behind the rope, and he said, "Why don't you join us for a drink?" Back then I was bi, so I entertained it for a moment. And then I remembered going, "Oh my God, thank you so much for the music on behalf of my entire generation. And thank you for the offer. However, I am here with my friends for a birthday party. So don't worry, we'll see each other around."
You turned down Bono?
The stupidest woman
God.
I've ever met. Thank you for telling me something I didn't want to know.
There you go. I'm telling you, I will see you again, Bono. I told you. I'm not a, you know.
All right. I saw Bono last year.
The name
I
drop,
got
pal. I
invited.
swear.
Where's the bell? Think.
I went to the U2 concert, and I got invited. A very close friend of mine does the road show for U2, and I was right at the stage, and they are not a day over 112.
I know.
I loved your story.
Al's very
No, I
important.
didn't love your
Josie's
story.
very famous.
Yes,
you
blah,
know.
blah, blah, blah. All right, let's move on. Thank you for telling me something I didn't know and many things I didn't want to know. Thank you very much. Let's talk about diversity honors. And we're really happy that we have Robert Boo here because next weekend,
yes,
big event is happening here in South Florida, national event, the Diversity Honors. Robert, tell us a bit about what is going on.
Well, it's an amazing event. 3 organizations have come together. It's hosted by the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. And the Harvey Milk Foundation and the Pride Center come together and put this event together where we recognize international, national, and local folks for all of the hard work that they have done to make the LGBT world a much better place. Right. And so it's really great because Harvey Milk does this wonderful work internationally and being activist and supporting the folks in other countries. And then here in South Florida, the Pride Center provides a whole portfolio of services to the LGBT community, all free of charge. And so this is an amazing event this year.
Robert, when's the date?
It is Saturday, March 30th. Right. At the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino.
And how do you get tickets?
You can go to diversityhonors.com. Tickets are $250, or you can buy a table for $2,500 because my math is really good.
Yeah.
And yes, and so we are recognizing the Alan Schubert Award of Excellence, and Alan Schubert is the founder of the Pride Center. We are awarding for our second year having this award the City Commission here of Wilton Manors because it is the second group of elected individuals in the United States that are all LGBT. And so from my perspective, I'm a small town boy from Indiana. And when I was growing up, had I seen this example of having a totally LGBT commission and mayor,
Yes.
what an inspiration, what a message that sends to the youth of today. And so it's really is inspirational to recognize the local elected officials here. We're also recognizing Phil Wilson. Phil Wilson is the founder of the Black AIDS Institute that provides services throughout the country. Congressman Ted Deutsch for all of his work on LGBT rights and marriage equality. And then Tony Lima from SAVE and all the instrumental work they do to help protect and fight.
And I understand, Robert, somebody really interesting. I'm sorry that Joe is not here to hear this news, but somebody very interesting from The View is coming, I hear.
Yes. Meghan McCain, daughter of the Arizona Senator McCain, is coming to receive an award from the Harvey Milk Foundation.
Yeah, that's absolutely awesome. We tell you, if you're interested, you should come into South Florida. This is a national event. It's quite significant, and we have some great news because It's Happening Out is supporting the Diversity Honors, and we're going to be doing interviews for the event. We'll be there next Saturday night. And next week, we're going to show you some very specific things on next Wednesday prior to Diversity Honors. It is a fantastic event. We are hoping, and it's happening out, you see the model of Harvey Milk and the Pride Center at Equality Park here in South Florida. And those of you around the country can watch the magnificent job that they have done and start to create events like it. And we draw attention to you for Diversity Honors, and we're going to tell you a lot more about this next Wednesday night. And Robert, we're really glad you're here.
So Al, important question. What will you be wearing?
I'm actually, I'm going to be wearing Etro. I have a very cool handmade Italian suit that I haven't paid for, and it makes it very special because and I have to return it.
You haven't paid for?
I know. No. Well, at least not yet.
I'll be checking for the price tag still on there.
He tucks it in the bag.
Exactly right. It's funny, and I understand Stuart Milk is coming. Right?
Stuart Milk, yes. He is the co-founder of the Harvey Milk Foundation.
Yeah.
And he actually lives here in Wilton Manor.
Yes, and here in South Florida. And interesting, as we move on from Diversity Honors, we're going to talk about our road to Stonewall. Harvey Milk was one of our recent weekly recipients. And let's move on to On the Road to Stonewall now. As you know, America, we are celebrating the Stonewall Civil Rights Movement. The last week in June of this year will be the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall riots in New York City. The Stonewall Parade will take place in New York at World Pride. New York Pride is being designated the World Pride for 2019 in celebration of Stonewall. Our celebration fundamentally pushes that along, and every week in 2019, we're celebrating prominent gay icons. This week, there's been a name that keeps appearing over and over and over again, and we celebrate our Road to Stonewall gay icon this week. Guess who that is? Yes, RuPaul. Watch this.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I would like to thank, on behalf of the 140 drag queens we have released into the wild. If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen up in here? Now let the music play! You know, we sit up here on our little talk show. Seem like everybody and their mama got a talk show now. Yeah. Hey everybody, how y'all like my outfit? This is the front and this is the back. Oh baby.
It's the RuPaul show.
You know, growing up, I always felt like the little boy who fell to earth, you know? Like I never really fit in. Not with black folks, not with white folks, not with gay folks, not with really anybody. And it's partially the reason I've been able to move forward and navigate through some of the cultural obstacles that we all face. I think our show speaks to that forward-thinking voice, that emerging voice of young people who are looking for something. It's almost like a religion or a way of life. They see the kids on our show overcome not only their personal adversities, but the challenges with the other kids on the show. You know, I used to be late to places, and I realized that I was addicted to the rush of going, oh boy, oh shoot. Yeah, when I let go of that addiction, I'll arrive 10 minutes early just to let bitches know who they working with. Hello.
Oh, come on, Stu.
Siberian tiger. Yes. Now, to make it into the Drag Race Hall of Fame, first, you need to survive your day in court. Papa's got a brand new gag.
Welcome to Gay for Play. This is the game show where you don't have to be gay to play, but it sure do help.
You know, if you look at YouTube videos of me from 83, it goes back to 82. I have the exact same message in all of them, and I have, you know, there's a sort of a palette that I always say: you're born naked and the rest is drag. Everybody say love. If you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? That's always been my platform, and I grew up loving show business and knowing that I had to have a doctrine to present myself with, and that's what I chose.
We are once again reminded that the fight for civil rights is never ending. But we won't let the darkest recesses of human nature extinguish the light and hope and love we feel in our soul. As gay people, we get to choose our families. And my chosen family includes millions of brave men and women across this country and around the world. Don't with my family.
Well, look, on our road to Stonewall, how can we not take a moment to celebrate RuPaul? This year, for the first time ever, the Emmy for Best Reality Show for RuPaul's Drag Race. The first time ever in history, and RuPaul again wins as Best Host. Every week when we do our celebration of the gay icons on our road to Stonewall and our civil rights celebration at the end of June, we tell you a little bit about the person we're celebrating and a few things that they said in their lives. And we're going to do that again tonight with RuPaul. Let's start with Josie. Josie, tell us about RuPaul.
So, as you heard, RuPaul just won an Emmy Award for Outstanding Host of a Reality or Reality Competition. It resonates with me. And but more importantly, was included in the annual Time 100 Most Influential People in the World. RuPaul said, if people are saying nasty, hurtful things about you, don't allow your ego to co-opt the situation by taking what they're saying to heart. Know that what they're saying has nothing to do with you. It's them projecting their own self-loathing and fear.
Excellent. Robert, you have a quote from RuPaul.
I do, and it's just epic. The key to navigating this life, don't take it too seriously. That is when the party begins.
That's awesome. That is a really great quote. And Aaron, about RuPaul.
So 22 years before America's most popular live gay talk show. Have you heard of it, maybe? No? Okay. Well, RuPaul had her own self-titled talk show on VH1, and it was one of the first national TV programs from the U.S. that had an openly gay host. It lasted for 100 episodes, so challenge accepted.
Wow.
Yeah.
RuPaul said, "My goal is to always come from a place of love, but sometimes you just have to break it down for a motherfucker."
That's great.
Yes.
That's excellent. That is so RuPaul,
Pointedly.
too. Exactly. And Houston, you have a quote from RuPaul.
Well, RuPaul said, what it says on your driver's license isn't really who you are. You are something much greater than that.
True, absolutely. And Marcy, tell us something about RuPaul.
So, in 1994, he became a spokesperson for MAC Cosmetics, because this lipstick lesbian got to talk about the lipstick.
You have MAC?
Actually, no.
Oh, okay. All right.
But we'll say what I am. Yeah.
Darn it, because we're going to charge MAC $1,000.
No, I don't tell my beauty secrets. Okay.
She's too honest.
Anyway, so spokesperson for MAC Cosmetics, raising money for the MAC's I'm getting tongue-tied. MAC AIDS Fund, and becoming the first drag queen to land a major cosmetic campaign. So, RuPaul said, if they don't pay your bills, Pay those bitches no mind.
That's great. Actually, it's funny. I want to tell you a personal story about RuPaul.
Of course you do.
I have a few.
No.
I did the RuPaul cruise for years and years and years. Everybody connected with the show. I laugh when he says 140 queens released on the wilds of the world. Here in Florida, between Orlando and Tampa, there's a campground. It's called Sawmill. And Sawmill is 200 acres, and it's the largest gay campground in the United States.
And thank God it can't tell our secrets.
In 2000, that's right, we had a retreat there, and we launched a rehearsal of the show there. It was wild, and we stayed in the bunkhouse. Oh, that's a whole other story.
For that.
Right,
I don't know
right.
what he's talking about.
Okay,
Where are we
but
going
let me
with
tell you what
this?
happened. In 2009, it's funny about collecting the coin, because RuPaul definitely has that philosophy. However, one of the things a lot of people don't know about RuPaul is he is also incredibly generous. And in 2009, the show was doing pretty good, and Sawmill was owned by straight guys, and they were taking the money out left and right, and they were going to sell it. And Sawmill was probably, a gay campground, was probably going to be sold to a church and become a church camp.
Wow. Well,
And we got this idea to turn it into a gay co-op and find people to help raise money to purchase Sawmill as a co-op. And we had to raise, I think, like $4.6 million. RuPaul came to Little Pudunk Sawmill twice to help us raise money. Now, of course, we had association with the show and was doing me a favor. But this is out in the woods in Dade City, Florida, and came to Sawmill and did 2 concerts. And it is the only 2 concerts that RuPaul has done in the last 8 years, and in the backwoods at Sawmill. And partially and successfully due to so many people that contributed, but especially, in my humble opinion, RuPaul, the $4.6 million was raised. Sawmill was purchased by a co-op. It became the first gay co-op in the United States of America, and co-op of Sawmill will be here 100 years from now. And when RuPaul, as I look at that picture, is long gone, one of the legacies of RuPaul will be the largest gay co-op in America. And that's what RuPaul did.
Amazing.
Amazing. We had her stay in a Holiday Inn Express. He said that I want to stay in a 5-star hotel. And we said, okay, that's in Orlando, over an hour away. No, I don't want to do that. Gets dressed in the hotel room and then rides in the vehicle, and it has to be a high top because he's about 9 feet tall. And we have these special arrangements, and we had an amenity package that a team prepared for him, and we bought every fattening food we could find, every chocolate we could find. We provided about 50 magazines, including Big Black Busty Women, Southern Fishing, Guns and Ammo. Every offensive magazine that we could find, every porn magazine we could find. And RuPaul came to the dress rehearsal and stepped out of the vehicle, and I said hello, and we shook hands, and of course we knew each other. And he said, "Loved my amenity package." And so RuPaul is definitely a very personal gay icon to all of the
Did you
cast
know
here.
each
And
other?
it's we did not know until I started with the show.
Oh, did you know RuPaul? You've met before.
Yes.
Can we get the name drop bell again, please? You got that?
All right, so that's our gay icon of the week, and we'll continue to do that on our road to Sawmill, our road to Stonewall.
We're going to do lots of other things on the road to Sawmill.
If we were doing our road to Sawmill, it would be a whole different story.
Very different.
Robert all of a sudden perked right up. I don't know.
That'll be a panelist.
Does this really run? Does this car over here really work?
Exactly. All right. Follow and remember, Stonewall is going on. The last weekend in June is going to be quite exciting. Now, we want to move on to a game that is a lot of fun. We call it Shag, Marry, Chop. Now, to our guest host tonight, we're going to show you panels of 3 pictures. And they're going to come up on these screens that you see. And you must play. You don't get to opt out. You must play. And you're going to tell us who you would shag. Is shag a word that's used in the native language? Do you know what shag means?
I think we can
Figure it out? I think you got it. Okay. And then you choose marry, and then you choose chop. And by the way, I made a comment recently where I did the FSU Seminole symbol of chop, and you would be shocked how many people were critical of me, saying I was being disrespectful to the native tribes.
Would you be shocked, Houston? Would you really be shocked?
Is that offensive?
Yeah, for me it is, but they love it. They love it.
Okay.
The Seminoles love it.
Seminoles?
Yeah, I'm against it, but the Seminoles love it.
Okay, all right.
They
got
signed
it.
off.
All
I
right.
wasn't here that week to smack Al's hand down.
Me,
So.
exactly.
I'm so over it, yeah.
Okay, all right.
What are
So
you gonna say to
let's
FSU?
everybody understand the game? All right, we're going to learn a lot about you here as we
do
play
it.
Shag, Marry, Chop. Game number 1 is about country. Let's choose Trace Atkins, Blake Shelton, or Tim McGraw. Who wants to start? Jump right in.
Woo.
Josie.
I'll start.
Oh, Marcy's going to start.
I was like, ooh, I'll go there.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Who are you going to shag?
Trace Atkins.
You're shagging.
I'm shagging him.
Okay.
Because he's got like that nice, deep, sexy voice, and he's real manly.
Okay. Who are you marrying?
Blake Shelton.
Blake Shelton.
I'm like,
why?
because he's just really. It's from the voice.
This is the voice.
Yeah, because he's just he's really funny.
Yeah. All
And
right.
he's got a personality.
And McGraw is being chopped. Look at that bicep.
I'm over
you
him.
can't
He's
chop that.
like no, without the hat, he's not as cute.
Okay. Who else? Shag,
All
marry,
right,
chop.
all right. Let me jump in here. All right, babe, we can do Trace Atkins, okay?
By the way, I don't know if you know this. Josie plays Shag, Marry, Chop almost always thinking of 3 ways with you two. Now, what would my wife Marcy like? Oh, that's what I'm doing. It's like a buffet.
Happy wife, happy life.
All right, got it. All right. Who would you marry?
I would marry also Blake Shelton.
Okay. And chopping Tim McGraw.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, who else?
Oh my God, I am going to shag or do Tim McGraw.
Tim McGraw. I think he's hot.
He's hot. He's hot.
All
Blake
right.
Shelton is marriage material.
All right.
But do I really have to cut?
You
Trace?
have to. Yep. It's a chop. You have to.
All right. Bye.
Atkins is gone. Who else?
All right, I'm going to shag Trace Atkins. He looks like he got an attitude. I'm going to marry Tim McGraw. He's real close to that almost too pretty to be, I can't
he
do
is
prettier than
pretty.
me.
Yeah.
But God, that bicep.
Yeah, I know.
He's hot.
And I'm chopping the hell out of Blake Shelton.
Yeah.
No questions
I
asked.
know.
That man is problematic as fuck,
Yeah.
and he ain't no marriage material neither.
Problematic.
I was just thinking about Gwen,
A little shudder went up my spine, America, when you hear Aaron Phoenix say, "You're problematic as fuck. You better be scared." I'm just saying. And what would you do? Who
I'm
would you?
strictly in it for the money, so I feel like Tim's got more money, so I'm going to marry Tim,
Marry Tim.
chop Blake, and shag Trace.
You're shagging
Yes,
Trace.
I'm strictly in it
Okay,
for
all
the money,
right.
though.
Very good. All right.
Yes.
Our next game. Let's go to 70s icons. And who better than David Cassidy, Christopher Atkins, or John Travolta?
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Dreamy.
oh my. All right. Who
All
wants
right.
to jump
I'll do this one. I'll
All
do this
right.
one. I'm
Robert?
cutting John Travolta.
No, well, let's start with Shag. We
Oh,
want to know who
who
you're
will they
shagging.
shag?
Shag.
I would shag David Cassidy because I watched the TV show
Yeah.
and it's huge.
Yeah.
His personality.
Wait, I'm sorry. Production's telling me that the executive board of Pride Center is on the phone.
Wait, this
They'd
just
like
in.
to see you over at Equality
This
Park
just
right
in.
at the end of the show. All right.
I would marry Christopher Atkins and then I'm cutting John Travolta.
Yeah. I'm just curious. Do you cut John Travolta because he's hidden his sexuality? Does that bother you at all? Do you think?
No.
That's all alike.
No, I'm basing this just on
Yeah,
pure
okay.
sex and
Robert,
desire
I'm learning
and
so much about you tonight.
I know.
So much. All right.
I'm totally shagging John Travolta. I used to have a picture of him up in my room, okay? And I'm going to marry David Cassidy because he's just cool and fun. And
Lots of personality.
Yeah, lots of personality.
Is he alive?
And I'm going to cut Christopher because he looks gay, okay, guys?
Yes, he looks gay.
Who else?
Yeah,
You look gay.
but we're not going to work it out. You know
I
what
would
I
like
mean?
to shag John Travolta because I think it's just going to be weird. And David Cassidy, I will marry and chop Chris.
All right.
Thank
Chop
you.
Chris. All right.
Since
Marcy?
I only know who John Travolta is, and I don't know the rest of that. I'm not kidding. So anyway, I will shag David Cassidy because apparently he's got a big one, personality. And then I'm going to marry John Travolta because,
that's the only guy you know.
Because I know him. And Christopher Atkins got to go. He looks gay.
Star Wars,
Now,
baby.
wait.
He's got to go.
Okay, everybody's played this round?
I
Is he?
haven't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Aaron.
Well, I'm kind of with you, Houston. John Travolta's going to be into the weird stuff, and I'm down for that.
Consistent, if nothing else, consistent.
But I can't marry him because he went a little crazy. So I'm going to marry.
He flies a plane not far from you.
I bet he
His
does.
house has a runway, and he has a 737 in his driveway here in Ocala.
See, that's extra as fuck. I want to fuck that guy. I mean, jack that guy, but I don't want to have to live with that guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm going to marry.
Well, you can live on the plane. You'll just live on the
Sure,
plane.
that sounds
All right,
good.
all right.
I'm going to marry. God, this is so stereotypical. I'm going to marry David Cassidy because big dick energy. I mean, big personality.
Lots of personality.
And yeah, Christopher Atkins, even for me, looks a little gay. So.
Okay, everybody's played, but let me draw something to your attention that you might not have thought of. A specific single scene. Christopher Atkins was in Blue Lagoon.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Oh, yes.
Blue Lagoon, where he sat at the edge on the rock and beat off with him to the back.
I gotta add that to the things
my
I
God.
still have it on a loop.
And then dived into the water, and you saw his penis.
I know.
I look at that
Someone
slide,
remembers.
and the only person I'm looking at is Christopher
It's on
Atkins.
Tumblr.
Yes, that's right. It used to be, right.
He's very
exactly.
cute. I just didn't think we'd
Okay,
get
all
it.
right. Interesting. Now,
The two millennials at the table are like, do you have any idea? No.
I just
Let's
think
play-
we wouldn't have.
let's
Like,
play-
I remember Brooke Shields.
America,
What would
I
you
tell
talk
you this
about?
all the time. My job is the hardest job on the planet. It's a lion tamer here. All right, our third game, brands. Who are you going to play with? Mr. Clean?
Oh, God.
The Green Giant? Or the Brawny Man?
I'll start.
All right, Marcy.
So I'll shag the brawny man because, hello. He looks like he can handle it. And I'm going to marry Mr. Clean because obviously I'll have a clean house and I'll chop the Jolly Green Giant.
He's a giant.
It's okay. It's okay. He's
a
green.
giant in
It's
every way,
proportional.
Marcy. Is that important? Wait, I'm curious. Is that important to lesbians? I've got a couple in front of me, so I'm gonna. I asked the follow-up question. Is that important to a lesbian couple?
Size?
Size.
Size of what?
Because you can choose it, it's important.
Yes, thank
Right? You can pick your own. So
Interchangeable parts,
if you
man.
can pick your own, then why wouldn't you go for the big one, right? In my opinion, I mean, you guys are very quiet.
That raises
I'm
more
like-
questions than it answers.
I
to be
know.
perfectly
I'm
honest.
Well,
having
in
the
my
Barbara
opinion.
moment again of the Barbara Walters moment of going, oh, I wish I didn't ask that question.
Well, actually, this for a TMI moment, whenever Josie and I first got together, she goes, I'm picking it. And I was like, okay.
Oh! What did
I was
you
like,
think?
okay, guess I'll saddle up.
That was too. Oh wait. Well, America, we hope
night,
you've
everyone.
enjoyed
Look at the time.
Tune
My
in
goodness.
next Wednesday. Exactly. All right. We're still playing Shag.
All right.
Who's next?
Okay, so I'm gonna shag Mr. Clean because I'm sorry, he's just kind of hot. Like as far as cartoons go, I've always kind of like I'm into the cue ball thing.
Yeah, me too.
You wear it right,
Same.
you know.
Yeah.
I'm going to marry the Jolly Green Giant because I'm a size queen. I'm just gonna say it, and I'm definitely chopping the Brawny Man because he looks like a big old bottom. Come on.
No, wait. What is it that strikes you as a big old bottom?
Listen, anybody
bigger
who's had-
butcher they
anybody who's ever had a top come over and tell you that they're a versatile bottom knows that that is a big old bottom all day.
He looks like every leather guy I've ever met. Oh,
Exactly.
No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. All right. People
Our
yelling.
leather guy in the back is
Yeah.
like,
All right. Anybody else?
All right, so I'm going to shag the Green Giant. Sounds fun. I'm going to marry Mr. Clean because it's really important to me for things to be clean. And I'm gonna let go of brawny
Brawny.
man because I got a lot of brawny men in my life. So I'm at my.
You're gonna marry
Quota.
a guy because he's clean?
Yeah.
Is that what I just understood?
Oh yeah.
That's a sexy.
You know
There's
she's a
showers.
lesbian, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
that's right.
That's a
Oh, is
sexy
she a
characteristic.
lesbian? Oh, got it. All right. Has everybody played? All right. All right. So that's our game, Shag, Marry, Chop. We've learned a lot about y'all. I've learned way more about y'all than I wanted to know.
This game was your idea. I'll remind you.
Yeah, it was. All right. The last thing that we're going to do tonight is we're going to play one more game called This or That. And it's a game that I like because it forces our host into making a choice. And we ask you to play with us along on the game and make a choice. And we're going to pose a question and ask. We're going to give you the answer and choose this answer or that. And we ask you to say this and what the answer is, or that and what the answer is. Everybody understand what we're getting ready to do here?
We're all on a kindergarten reading level, so yeah, I think we got it.
Yes, yes, that's right. Okay, all right. Question number 1 of this or that. Pick your poison, please. Pick your poison.
Bourbon whiskey. Oh, sorry.
Tequila.
Absinthe.
Oh, wait. No alcohol.
Oh,
Wait.
no, but I remember.
Yes. and by the way, I had a glass of wine before the show, and Robert had a drink at the table.
I had a tonic.
Yes, right, exactly. We're having a good time here at It's Happening Out. All right,
Yes.
Question number 1. Pick your poison. This, a Wikipedia page of you full of inaccuracies, or that, a rogue Twitter account parodying you every day. Parodying you every day. This or that. A Wikipedia page that is completely inaccurate about you, or somebody that is basically shadowing you in Twitter and making fun of you every day.
I had a little brother, and that sounds super annoying, so I'm going to go for the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, so you're choosing this.
I'm choosing
We played
this,
the
the
guess
Wikipedia
game
page.
with the this first. Okay, thank you
I'm
for
gonna
not
do
playing.
that, the parody of myself on Twitter.
Yeah, and you wouldn't mind people making fun of you.
It's already happening.
Yeah.
So
Every Wednesday.
In fact, my phone keeps dinging in my crotch here because Twitter's like, oh, sorry.
America, that's not true. I took that page down already. I took the page down. This or that?
I'll do this if I'm the one that's inputting all the inaccuracies.
But you're not.
no conditions.
Somebody,
Oh, no.
you can't do that.
I would say
Well, I'm going to go with
this.
this anyway.
All right,
I'm
so
gonna
the
have fun with it.
Wikipedia.
I would say
page.
this because those inaccuracies could actually be positive, right?
Yeah.
It could be good things.
Yeah,
No?
no.
Well, I would still go with this
No.
because that's one thing, and
And-
then if it's a Twitter account, it's constantly
And
happening. Like,
America, just for
refresh.
your information, because we're already reading lots of what you're saying, the social media posts that are gifting and memeing Marcy's bosoms. They're
You're welcome.
everywhere
You're welcome,
in
America. I brought it with me
already.
today.
So, yes, they're going to be positive. They're going to be very, very positive. Right.
You should
This
guess
or
how
that,
big they are.
everybody's
That'd be fun.
answer? Yeah,
That.
that. And
Yep.
why that?
Because you can respond.
Yeah. Oh, you can respond. Oh, very good. That's
Thinking.
interesting.
Thinking.
Finally, somebody told me
smart.
something I didn't know. Thank you. This is that. Finally. All right. Question number 2. When it comes to the bedroom, and I'll lean back so
We're
I
quick
can't
around
see
here.
Robert's face, but when it comes to the bedroom, this morning sex is the best way to start the day, or that I prefer sex to be my nightcap. Or that.
Oh,
That.
Porque no los dos.
Porque no los
Oh, porque no los dos.
I know you wrote this just for me. And not because of the Spanish-speaking part either.
Please define the phrase that I've
Porque
given in
no
that.
los dos means why not both?
Yeah.
Especially if you start at night and you go all the way until the morning.
Don't brag. Stop bragging. Don't brag. Exactly.
right,
All right.
Ya
This,
tú
that,
sabes.
this, that, or that.
I would say that because you never know what mood you're in, right?
Yeah. All right.
Does that have to be the same person? asking for a friend. Asking for a friend.
America.
I love your friend. Where do we meet him?
Right?
Oh, America, coming close on my face right now. Coming close
That
on
was
my
not the
face.
best choice of words.
I know. I was going to
Close
say.
on my
Wait. Oh, wait. The executive board at Pride Center has another call coming in.
This just in.
Okay.
They just found out you're gay.
This or that or that.
This, start the day off right.
Start the day off right. Okay, that's cool.
This part of waking
I'm gonna go that porque no los dos, right?
I'm
Wait, say
sorry.
that again?
Carlos Barrera's not here, so I get to do it. I'm sorry. What did you say?
I know.
Porque no los dos.
Carlos, we miss you, by the way, don't we?
Porque no los
No, nobody's saying that they miss Carlos.
Of course we miss Carlos.
Nobody's missing
Hi,
Carlos.
Carlos.
We love you.
We love you, Carlos. All right.
NYC, baby, bring me a hat.
All right.
Marrero.
Exactly right.
Marrero.
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 Wait, I got it down, by the way. AOC.
Oh, God.
All right, there we go. Question number 3, this or that. If my life was a crime drama,
Kind of already is.
this, I'd be the good
Cop?
cop. Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, sound it out.
Use your words.
Oh, Robert,
sorry.
you're never coming back.
Use it in a sentence.
Ever. No. I sounded out. Thank you. Thanks for pointing that out to America. All right. No, I'm kidding. This, if my life was a crime drama, I'm never going to recover from that. Ever. People are going to be memeing that tomorrow. This, I'd be the good cop. That, I'd be the bad cop.
The gap cop.
Or that. Who am I kidding? I'd be the criminal.
So can you just
One more time.
Dad or
It's
the
a crime
criminal?
show.
Okay, yeah.
You're the good cop, the bad cop, or I'm the criminal.
that I'm the criminal,
Yeah.
guys.
Right? Wait. All right. Who
Okay,
else?
so that I'd be the good cop.
You'd be the
obviously.
good cop. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that. Good cop.
I don't believe in good cops. I'm the criminal.
And
I'm the
wait,
good
Robert,
cop.
they're still on the phone.
Oh, good cop.
Right. Okay. All right. Final question. Question number 4. This or that. I would rather this butt dial my parents during sex, or that receive a butt dial of my parents having sex.
No.
Okay, I'm going with
This
this.
or that?
I'm going with this. Listen, me and my mom have a very open line of communication. She would not be in the least bit surprised, I'm sure. I, however, would be traumatized. I'm stuttering even talking about it. And my mother's probably watching this now. I'm sorry, Mom. I love you, but you know.
Is there a that
Come
option?
on, you made
There
me.
is
You're
no.
gonna know.
And Robert, since you're new as a host and it's happening out, you must play the game because if not, we bring in a bucket of slime and throw it on you.
It's
So
like
you must
Nickelodeon.
play. Exactly. This or that. I would rather butt dial my parents during sex, or that receive a butt dial from my parents having sex.
This.
This?
Let them deal with it in therapy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So
All right.
mine's a little morbid. So both of my parents are passed.
Yes.
So I would say this because they're not going to answer. So
Wait, if we're going to follow that logic stream, let's go a little more morbid on the fact that maybe you get a butt dial from heaven.
Then you know that heaven is good.
Yeah,
your
okay.
parents, that's right. Your parents are having a great
Yes,
time.
you're right,
So,
you're right.
all right.
My-
Better
This or
start,
that.
better start acting right so you end up in heaven.
I would much rather get that call from my parents having sex. I just want them to be happy. Anything is better than bitching at me all the time. I love you guys, you know what I'm saying? But you should probably get some more
whatever you need
Some more
in
of
your life.
that.
Okay.
Wait,
and lay off of Josie. I'm doing fine.
Wait, I'm so proud that this or that became a therapy for all of us. Right.
Usually I'd swallow that.
Congratulations. Okay, that's our game, This and That. We've come to the end of another episode of It's Happening Out. We've had a wonderful time tonight. I hope you guys.
No, it can't be.
No new favorite thing, huh?
We have to tell you we end the show. Our guest here tonight as host, and we've got to get them some food. And we have a great sponsor, and so we're bringing this hot new gentleman in from Jet Pizza, our national sponsor. Oh, he comes to me this week. Now, tell me your name again. Thomas.
Hey.
And Thomas, no, wait, don't go away. Last week when Thomas brought the pizza, let's look, because I'd love to see it.
You open it
and
up?
by the way, I don't have to do that because I can just show the box, but I'm going a step farther. And there's a reason why I'm working a little harder. Thomas, I asked you last week if you were gay, and you said basically no comment, but when I come back next week, and the answer was...
I'm actually pretty pissed off that she said that she'd rather shag the Jolly Green Giant, Aaron.
Well, I'm a little pissed off that you just misgendered me, so it's okay.
That wasn't...
Thomas?
If you were one of the choices, though, I would gladly swap him out for you.
Hey!
Wait, I've lost control. Thank you, Thomas. It's been a pleasure, and we're gonna love Jet Pizza.
No comment is
tonight
my favorite
after the
sexuality,
show.
by the way.
Yes. He doesn't look nearly angry enough. Not nearly angry.
No. He's
All
not
right.
bitter.
So that's our show tonight.
Aaron's like, maybe.
Takes one to know one, baby.
By the way, I told you, America, at the top of the show that we were going to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is the gayest thing you've ever seen in your life. And I think we have proved that tonight in terms of our conversation. We love that you...
Oh.
We love
Wrap it
We
up.
love that you
Bring it in,
joined
come
us.
on.
And we'll be here next Wednesday night. And to say goodnight, as we always do, we ask all of the hosts to do that. Let's start with Josie.
Good night, everyone. Be kind, please.
And to our guest, Robert Boo.
Good night, everyone. Try to make your little part of the world just a better place.
That's great. And my friend, Aaron Phoenix.
Sorry, Mom. Happy birthday. I love you. Good night, America. And good night, gender fuckers.
And to my friend, Houston Cypress.
In my community, we don't say goodbye. We say until we meet again.
All right.
Excellent.
Yeah,
And
that's a good
to
one.
my voice friend, Marcy.
Good night. Stay silly.
And stay silly. And by the way, speaking of silly, she has a friend that she's made
No.
a commitment.
You got the story wrong, so let me just...
Stop you right there.
No, because
you said
I
wrong.
told you part of the story, and you took the small part of the story and made it the whole story, so I'm reworking it. So I am wearing this crown for 365 days. You can follow me on Instagram. It's called Crown Around With Me, but I'm wearing it. Yes, my friend did give this to me, but I'm wearing it to inspire others to be queens and queens, Queens.
Oh, there's finally a word for me.
Yes. Queens, to bring out the royalty in you. And we are all royalty, whether we wear crowns or not. So
That's awesome. I love that story. And you're right. Marcy tells it better than me.
that's I was just saving you some time.
So remember, America, we're here every Wednesday night, 8 o'clock live. It is all live. There's nothing scripted of anything that you see here. We hope you're enjoying it. Remember, we're on a search here. We're on the road to Stonewall, and we're on a search to find if gay culture and gay community exist. We think it does, and we're trying to find it. And we're finding it, and if it's important to you, it's happening out. Good night, America.
Good night.